his own environment, which we have done. We have messed with things there, but when Allah has in his creation is for man's benefit. And we heard that yesterday. This is for man's benefit. So wherever you are, whatever your residence is, Allah has put the sustenance there, good and pure, for each and every day, all of his creation, not just for individual, but man has the ability to be responsible for all of it. So as it comes down to where, as I was thinking about what was it going to bring about today, and I want to think about the mercy that Allah has bestowed on myself and my family, and also kind of bring it up to date here. Allah has blessed me with a wonderful family. And in that, they're not Muslim, but they are a wonderful family. My children are not Muslim, but they're a wonderful family. And I struggled with that for a while. My own personal desire, yeah, I'd like to be Muslim. Yes. But they're believers, and they practice it. They are aspiring, and I got a couple sons that, anytime, I may not know where they're at. They can be anywhere in the world. I have daughters and stepdaughters who are that have their families and doing great things. But what the blessing is that when it comes to issues and problems, and good thing, we just said, don't come to me just because you got a problem. I want to hear the good things, and we celebrate the blessing Allah has given us. So, dear believers, during this month of Ramadan, I said we come in anticipation that the victories that Allah is going to give you, not only for the month and that day, but that extends out for the rest of the year. That's what we look at. Why do we sacrifice? They talked about yesterday, your heightened senses. And we think, I was listening to the sisters talk about going on Hajj here, and how you're asking Allah for guidance. And you have your five senses, and reading the book here, that also they have the sixth sense. That's that intuition that Allah gives you. And women are especially gifted with that sixth sense. The incident was with my wife, and something was going on, as it came to fruition, and she told me later on, I knew it, but I had that feeling. I said, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Allah gave you that for a special reason. They said, my child or somebody all the way across the country, something's going on. Dear believers, when one of my Hajj partners was here, when we came back from the Hajj, and we says, when Allah gives you that nudge, gives that thought, act on it. Do not sit there and try to give rhyme or reason to, I don't know, I don't have time, whatever it is wrong. Act on it. When you're thinking you're doing good, and you base your on your prayers and the guidance from Allah, seeking guidance from Allah in the Quran, whatever it is, and as I divert off into little things, these are things that, for myself, they come back. Realization didn't happen at that time, but later on. And one of the things that really saved me, because most of the places I worked at, I'm the only one and the only Muslim. I had to go to the mirror and say hi in the morning. So, and as you get into the professional world, you're more than likely, you're the only one, especially of African Americans. And if you're indigenous Muslim, more than likely you're the only one. You don't have to tell people you're Muslim. Eventually they figure it out. I'm telling you from personal experience. What do? You base your work upon honesty and integrity and the truth. People cannot fight the truth. That will lead you without doubt. When Allah says without doubt, don't have doubt in standing firm. Yeah, you're going to get in a fight. It's going to be some nasty fights. But you stand firm with the truth. When you think about going through this month, and we've heard folks talk about, how can you fast during this month here in America? People eating around you and things like this here. I said, it's easy. And my experience from work, once I got out of the boonies and got around civilization, I says, I'm going to go to Jumu'ah prayer. As my promise to myself. I'm going to go to Jumu'ah prayer and seek guidance. And I was able to, and I traveled a lot. I was going to observe the fast during Ramadan. Wherever the meetings come up, they have meetings most of the time, and I was blessed with it not being able to have, I controlled my own schedule. And so once I got really established, I just let them know, no meetings on Friday. And most of the time, at my level there, bosses there, they observe that. Every once in a while, I have to go to a meeting on Friday, but most of the time, I didn't have to. And all those 20-some years of work, I didn't have a problem. When you have the intentions of doing that which is right and benefit not only yourself and mankind, understanding that you can be told a lot of things. Satan threatens you with want. And when you're in a position of authority and you have those above you, especially in the business world and industrial world, you're told to do things, and some of them are just wrong. And they say, no, I can't, I won't do this. Well, you're going to lose your job. What do? You stand for the truth. You stand for right. If you haven't gone through that experience at this age here, I think almost everyone has been through that experience. When it's all said and done, truth wins out over falsehood. It's only a threat. They cannot. Allah tells us they will not be victorious. They will not prosper. Dear believers, after retired, now I'm working with all Caucasians. I think I ran into a couple brothers here and there, but they didn't small businesses there, and my background is forestry, actual forest products, and so that's a study, and it's one of Allah's creations that we've been using ever since He taught man. Shelter, heat. In the Quran it tells you, use the wood for heat and shelter. Many, many benefits. Medical, food, everything. Olive tree. These are many, many benefits from Allah's creation. These business people, some of them, we would, excuse the colloquialism, we would lock horns. And I got a reputation of, well, you asked my opinion, I'm going to give it to you. And I didn't sugarcoat things. Someone wanted to ask to make a report to kind of turn things a little bit. So one of my sayings was, I won't lie to you, and I won't lie for you, so don't ask. Where does this come from? Now I'm out here by myself. Well, I shouldn't say by myself, because Allah is with me. One of the things that our folks have a problem with is fear. what does a white boy treat you like? Yeah, I live in the mountains. What are the Indians like? Ignorance. Ignorance is terrible. Ignorance is terrible. That's the reason why you seek wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. A lot tells us seek knowledge, get the knowledge here, but that doesn't do anything for you unless you have a little wisdom behind it. And then with that wisdom, you have to have the understanding. How do you use this? How do you apply this to your life? And as we go through, then one of the most gratifying experience I had was that as I went to meetings afterwards and met some of these folks, and these are some hard-nosed people. You're our friends. I'm looking at me. Your friend? They would always says, we always knew we can get the straight shot from you. Whether we liked it or not, we can always get that. To me, I had someone who could be a potential enemy become a friend, and they appreciated it. Dear believers, be very firm with the truth. Do not fear anything or anybody, only fear Allah. Fear Allah. So what are we looking at? What does Allah tell us? Those who get the reward of doing good and righteous deeds. What is the reward for good? It's good. That's in the Quran. Like I said, I left my notes, and I think it's the Surah An-Nahl, the B. I think it's in that one, but maybe the Surah before that. But within those couple surahs, you look at how Allah gives us instructions. You don't have to fear anybody else. They can't harm you. Now, see, here's a cloakman again. In the Quran it says they can be a little irritation. I'm not sure about the translation there, but Brother Imam can help me out here. But I turn around and said they can irritate the hell out of you, make you want to do something that is out of your character. Allah said they can do nothing for you, make you to do wrong. Once you understand that, there's nothing that Shaitan can do to make you do wrong. He can threaten you, make it look bad, do you wrong. Allah says, in the hereafter, He erase all that hurt. You won't even know that they exist. Another experience here. My two older children. My oldest is my daughter, my only daughter, and I have two stepdaughters. And she's a BSRN. She's got a lot of specialties behind it, and she kept going and getting these little specialties. And so at work, she worked for a hospital, and at work she's going for the assistant head nurse or something like that position there. And they just wanted to change the rules. First they said she had it, and then they changed the rules. The union and her bosses. We know it was racial. We know they had some little special person in there they wanted to put in there. 2 years versus a 4-year degree, 2 years experience versus 18 years. So, what I'm saying, she's upset. Here's where we see the similarities from Wardi II in relation to his father, talking with his father. And this is the reason why I identify very closely with Imam Wardi II. He he was groomed by his father. He consulted with his father. My children, even though their degrees and all this stuff is way above what I can say, but the one thing they know that with that strong foundation, same thing I had with my father. My father only had 8th grade education. He got his high school degree at 68 years old. Marched in the same line with my baby brother, so we all come back for that. But he's always a red man. I thought I was unique until we found a picture of where my father worked at. He worked for Bendix, and Bendix in the research area when they started putting Sputnik and all that in there. My father was 6'3", big man. He wasn't heavy, but he's always been known a big man and very lean. look at the picture.